And look, one thing that is like, because I mean, I like talking about it. I don't like what happened, but I like communicating about it because the OSS, which was the CIA before the CIA, that you got to think about, like Hitler's scientists were able to study atoms, like because there are certain even molecules, which are atoms, molecules that can hold radiation for periods of time. So Hitler's scientists were like, I told you, they were one element away. They even had centrifuges, bro. The OSS, like there's some of, like I said, there's some of Hitler's things that are in the Smithsonian, the things that aren't sensitive. But when OSS transferred to the CIA, some of the secrets from the OSS were moved to the CIA. It's nothing more than like if the FBI becomes ABI or whatever, you know what I mean? But either way, that the fact that Hitler's scientists were studying atoms and molecules with microscopes rather than actually using like computers, because like nowadays, when our nuclear scientists work on certain things, there can be computer generated where they'll tell you, okay, you might need, instead of like H2O, you might need N9000H, or it'll give you different simulations that could be used for perfection or could be trial and error. But the fact that his scientists, all of their information was confiscated by the OSS and brought back to America on boats, on ships, which was the CIA at the time. And to think that if those same scientists would not have been involved with Hitler, but like had been born like a couple years later or a couple decades later, you know, like in the 60s and 70s is when nuclear advancements blew off the charts. But it's weird to think about how like some of the worst people in the world had some of the best engineers and scientists ever working for them or forced them to work for them. And it just sucks that a lot of good people get used for bad things. And it's just weird, man. But like I said, you know, there's so much that like I can like get to, but I can't really like get in the depth of it, if that makes sense. But either way, bro, you know, it's something really cool to think about though. But Hitler was a bitch and a ruthless murderer. But the fact that they were able to create stable radioactive nitrogen, it's weird to think about, bro. And they did do it because the OSS collected samples